Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite mechanism in Swordcrafters. This is a game that is currently on Kickstarter. I hardly ever talk about games that haven't been published yet, but I had the opportunity to play this. I asked for the opportunity to play this because A, I'm a day one backer of this project. I love the idea of building a sword, which I'll show you in a second. And I love the idea, I cut you choose mechanisms, both of which are in this game. And the campaign, I think, deserves a little bit more attention than it's getting. So as a backer who wants the project to do well, I thought I'd do a video about it and talk about my favorite mechanism in Swordcrafters. So there's actually two quick things I want to talk about. The first is the obvious. In this game, you get to build a sword. How cool is this? This is a three-dimensional sword, and maybe it looks more complex than it is, but it's actually a really, really clever, elegant idea. I have cat hair stuck in mine now. These are tiles with little slots that you slot into the sword. See how they slot in like that? Let's see if I can turn that correctly. You start with just the hilt, and you acquire these square tiles, and you build them into your sword as you go. And at the end of the game, you're left with this massive sword. It is such a cool thematic component, and it's so satisfying to make this thing. I can't say enough how clever this is. There are plenty of tile games where you're building something, but it's always two-dimensional. And I really can't, you have to almost hold the sword because it's so rare in a game that you get to pick up your creation. Even in one of my favorite games, another I Cut You Choose game, Castles of Mad King Ludwig, getting a phone call. Even in Castles of Mad King Ludwig, it's so satisfying to look at your castle. But imagine being able to pick up that castle and look at it at the end of the game. Very few components compare to the satisfaction of building and actually being able to hold the sword. And in a clever way, the rulebook actually specifies very carefully that this is not a real sword and should not be used for sword fighting or things like that. Good little liability disclaimer there. The other mechanism that I think is worth mentioning, which is really elegant, is this little tile that you have in the game that shows you how to set up the tiles each round. Let's see if I can hold that correctly. So see how that is? It's showing you the layout for the grid during the game, and it's different for 2 to 3 players or 4 to 5 players. So this is also the first player tile. So on the first player tile itself is the layout. You don't have to refer to the rule book, and it shows you exactly where in that layout. You can't see it exactly, but you can kind of see that one tile that looks a little different. That's the first player tile, and the layout shows you exactly where to put it, so that this tile is actually in the game. So every round you're cutting and choosing this grid of tiles. And someone will probably end up with the first player token. Some of the tiles won't be selected, but most of them will be selected, and someone will end up with this tile. So I love how this tile just integrates seamlessly into the game and provides a way for players to see where it goes. It's not like a random thing that's shuffled in because this tile it can't really be shuffled into the tiles. It doesn't require you to shuffle every round. Just a really seamless integration. But really the highlight, other than the I Cut You Choose, which I won't go into here, but it's a very simple, very clear cut. You slice these rows and columns of tiles. I love I Cut You Choose, and that worked really well. But other than that, I just love the satisfaction of being able to pick up your creation at the end of the game. It's brilliant. If you're interested in this project, as a fellow backer, I would love to have you as a backer of the project. I have no other incentive for you to back the project other than I want to see it come to life, and I want an awesome copy of Swordcrafters. So feel free to check it out. Also, if you're interested in becoming a Stonemaier champion, if you want to support this channel, support game design, the way I talk about game design, there's a link to that in the channel, in the comments below as well. Thanks. I look forward to hearing your favorite thoughts. If you can think of any other game where you get to actually physically pick up the thing that you built during the game at the end of the game, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Thanks.